All right, we got graphing from the x and y intercepts. So, and you were writing all these for a while, okay? You wrote these for a while, and you wrote these because you got things in your head, and your x-intercept you wrote down, and the y-intercept. Can you guys tell me what in the world is an x-intercept?
Where it crosses the x-axis.
It's where a line crosses the x-axis. What is an excuse me, a y-intercept then?
When it crosses the y.
It's where the crosses the y-axis. Okay, so the words intercept means where they touch, where they cross. All right? Where they intersect. Intersect also. Two different words. It's very similar. All right, that's what we're... Oh, wait. I'm going to go back. I started to go forward, and I don't want to. Now, we got to analyze this, Bill. I'm going to come over here with my pin, and I'm going to... This dot right here, for the x-intercept, right there. What is the ordered pair for that particular line? Can you tell me the ordered pair for that one?
-2. Or no, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2, 0.
Negative 2, comma 0. I'm going to come over here. For that intercept, it's negative 2, comma 0. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, this line over here also has an x-intercept. What is its x-intercept? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, comma what?
0.
Yeah.
I'm going to change colors because that color's not working well here. 7, comma 0. Did these two ordered pairs, which are both...
It's -7, right?
Yeah, yes, thank you. Do these have anything in common? Let me fix that with a color that you guys can read better. That was -2, comma 0. Do those have anything in common?
There's no y.
There is a y, but both y's are the same, and they're both what?
0.
Okay, so I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take these out, and instead of... For x-intercepts, they always have something for the y, or an x value for the x, and what do they always have for the y value? 0. Okay? Now, so an x-intercept has a 0 for the y. Always, always. Truth. Are you with me? What about the y-intercept? Let's come down here. Your y-intercept right there, what is that ordered pair? It is the y-intercept, but let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -7. What's my ordered pair?
0 and -7.
0 and -7. Okay? Let's think about this. If the x-intercept has an x value and a 0 for the y, what do you think is going to happen for the y-intercept? Let me ask that question one more time. Are you ready? The x-intercept has a 0 for y. What do we know about the y-intercept? For x, that's correct. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to so this could be any y value, any number in the y spot, but it's going to have a 0 for x. For the x-intercept, it's going to have an x value, any x number, but a 0 for the y. Are you with me? Now, did I make this up? Did some mathematician sit somewhere in a basement and say, I'm going to make an x-intercept have 0 for the y?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they drew lines so that, is this something they made up that this is going to be? They might have made up the word x-intercept, but did they make it be a 0 right there?
Yeah.
Did they say, I'm going to make a rule. 0 is going to be in the y place, just so I can confuse them and be opposite. I'm going to tell you they didn't. It's just how the world works. It's just how the world works. When you have an x-intercept, it's a 0 for the y. When you have a y-intercept, it's a 0 for the x. No one is trying to make your life terrible. It's just the way life works. Are we ready? So, if I want you to graph that is not in your slope-intercept form, we could move it around, but we aren't. They're wanting you to find the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. So, if I want the x-intercept...
Isn't that the same as graphing it?
We're going to graph 2 points this time. If I want the x-intercept, where am I putting a 0 in for? One more time. The x-intercept has a 0 for what value? Which of these has a 0?
Y.
The y. Okay, good job. So that means right here, I'm putting a 0. What is 2 times 0?
0.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? It goes away. So when I put a 0 in for that, it's gone. I will have 3x equals 6. Please stop me if you don't understand where I got 3x equals 6.
So x equals 2?
So x equals 2, but I want to make sure you understand. I plugged the, go ahead.
So you can just do that on any problem and just have the answer like that.
Yes. Isn't that beautiful? That's why we're doing this, because it's beautiful. The answer's like that. When I plug, 0 is a fabulous number. How did I get that again? Let's make sure you understand.
How do you just eliminate 2y?
I love that question. Okay, you remember how we have the x-intercept has a 0 for the y? One more time. The x-intercept has a 0 for y. So when I put 2 times 0, or 2 times the y, what is 2 times 0?
0.
So that's how I eliminated the y out of there. I plugged 0 in. So x equals 2. Now I can graph 2 comma 0. It's an x-intercept. It's right there. Are you with me? Okay. Now we're going to find the y-intercept. How do I find the y-intercept? I plug a 0 in for what?
X.
For the x. When I plug a 0 in for the x, that 3x becomes 0, because 3 times 0 is 0. Are you with me? Okay, so what am I going to have? I'm getting, just a second. I've got, this stuff's too big. I'm going to move it around a little. Okay, so I'm going to have, that 3x is going to go away. Are you with me? What am I going to have left?
2y equals 6.
All right, so y equals how much?
3.
3, and I'm going to graph the y-intercept of 3. By the way, that was 0 comma 3. And then I have a line now. Use your straight edge to draw your line. Make your arrows on it. All right? So you learned, if it was in slope-intercept form, that you do the y-intercept and the slope. Now, if it's not like that, if it's in this form, I now can find my x and y-intercepts by plugging zeros in. Zeros are fabulous things to plug in.
Wait, so is that just an easier way to find out what that problem is?
It's an easier way. I don't know if you want to do easier. Sometimes it's not easier, but this is a way that, in the past when you did this, you solved for y. You,
Y equals mx plus b.
yes, you put it in the form y equals mx plus b. And that's a terrible color. That is a little longer, maybe. Sometimes I love this way better. Actually, I think it's better than doing the x and y intercepts. That's just me. All right, let's do another one. And I'm going to show you why I'm telling you sometimes it's not easier. Here we go. We're going to do the x-intercept first. I don't know. You can pick the y-intercept. It seems x is first in the alphabet, so I love that. X-intercept.
4 isn't a perfect.
Yes, that's why. Thank you. Okay, if you're finding the x-intercept, what am I plugging in? Where am I putting the 0? 0 in for? One more time. The x-intercept, I'm putting a 0 in for? Y. So that means that 4x goes away, and I'm left with, 4y goes away. 3x equals 6, so x equals how much?
2.
All right. And then I can graph 2 comma 0. All right, let's move on to the y-intercept now. Where do I put the 0 this time?
At the x.
In the x place. Now I'm going to take that over here, and I'm going to put a 0 there. So what am I left with?
Negative 4y.
Negative 4y equals 6. What times 4 equals 6? Well, let's divide by negative 4 on both sides.
1.5.
And that's going to reduce that fraction. It's going to be 3 over 2 negative. That's 1.5. You with me? Or 1.5?
Negative 1.5.
Negative. Thank you. Don't forget your negative. Oh, is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you could necessarily do it.
You can kind of do it the best you can. Let me move over here. All right, so it's negative Halves are actually quite nice. You can visualize it right there in the center between the -1 and the -2. Any other kind of fraction, you're going to have to estimate if it's a little smaller or a little bigger.
1.27.
Yeah, then that's when this one is not as nice, okay? All right, so then we're going to get our straight line.
3.141.
Okay? Here we go. Questions? Woo! What in the world is this? 2y equals 3x? This one tells us using the origin and the slope. What in the world is the origin?
Couldn't it just be 0 at that point?
Is it 0?
The answer would be 0.
What is the origin, by the way? Up there, the instructions say graph using the origin. What's the origin? Huh?
I'm saying
Zero, the very middle.
The very middle,
Yeah,
the 0, 0. Is 0, 0 a true statement in this?
no.
If I plug 0 in for x, I picked the wrong color again. If I put a 0 for x, that's 2y equals 3 times 0, which is 0. What is divide by 2, divide by 2. What is 0 divided by anything is?
Undefined.
Wait. That we had one person said
it's
undefined,
zero.
one person
It's
said
zero.
0.
0.
It's 0. 0 on
If
the
it was
top is
flipped, it'd be
fine.
undefined.
So that's the origin. Oh, you know what? I love the origin. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Watch. If you put little ears on it and put that like that, doesn't he look like a little owl? Anyway, a little monster?
Seb's like, I shoot those every day.
All right. So 0, 0 is one of our points, the origin. And how in the world do I do the slope? Because we can't do 0, 0 and then 0, 0. We have to have another point. So what in the world? How do I find the slope?
You don't.
Remember, what is the equation that has the slope in it? Y equals mx plus b. What's being solved for right there?
Why?
The y. Okay. So in this equation, 2y equals 3. How do I move the 2 away?
0. Number 2.
Everybody do me a favor. On your boards right now, write 2y equals 3x, please. 2y equals 3x. How am I going to get the 2 away from the y? Am I going to subtract it or divide it?
Divide.
Divide by 2. Y will equal
3x over 2.
3
Half eggs.
or 3 over 2x. Either way. Plus 0. Because we know the 0 is the y-intercept anyway. So how in the world, from that red dot though up there, what do I do with the 3 and the 2?
You go up 3 over 2.
I have JD said go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. Is that true? Seb says yes. And I can keep going. Up
Where's
1,
that
2,
goes?
3 over 1, 2. I could keep going. I could go down 1, 2, 3 and
Mom,
backwards 1, 2.
Mom, that's not
And Asa thinks I'm doing overkill. All right.
This is like, that's a little bit.
need 2 points. Yeah,
You need 3, actually.
You should do about 3. Now, when you're doing your x and y
You just need
intercepts,
1.
you only need 2. Okay? All right. So I want you to notice, when in the world will I ever need to use the origin? What kind of an equation? Look at that equation up there. 2y equals x. Why does that one have the origin when the other one didn't have the origin? What makes that one different? We're looking for patterns.
It was placed 0, 0. That's what's different about the other one.
What if I did this? If I said 2x equals 5y. Is that got the origin in it? Does that one have the origin in it? As its equation, 2x equals 5y?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. What could I do to it to make it not have the origin?
You add a number.
Add something to it, and then it moves it around. Very good. That it's not at the origin anymore. So if it's just having the multiply in it, then it's going to be at the origin. Are you with me?
I'm not with you.
Say that again.
I'm not with you. So
Okay, go ahead.
Why did you add the 2?
Well, because I asked a question. I said to myself, okay, see this 2y equals 3x? It goes to the origin because nothing's being added. Everything's being multiplied. And I asked them, how could I make it not be at the origin? And he said, add something to it. And I said, okay, add something. I just picked +2. We could add anything. This is not a type of question they're going to ask you in your homework, but I was trying to get them to realize, look, there's no adding in this. It's all multiplying, so it's going to go through 0, 0.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
You're
Okay.
trying to make us
I know. Getting you to think. Isn't that great?
What's thinking?
All right, it's your turn. I want you to do only number 1. Only number 1 right now. Go open your book.
You don't have to. You just throw it wherever you want.
This is where you, and I'm suggesting that you write down a ton of work so that you can see later when you go back to this afternoon that you can see what we did. Don't try to do the minimalist amount of work on there so you don't even understand how to go back to it. Write things
That's
down.
the reason I play football. My coach says don't think.
Just do. Oh, your football coach doesn't want you to think.
Because
your brain.
no, because I'm like looking at
Doesn't
film
it,
and I
Mom?
just think too much
Mama.
and then I take too long.
Mama,
Oh.
doesn't football scramble your brain? You get knocked around, you know, like
Yeah.
a blender.
That's why I'm a backup quarterback
No, he's only a backup quarterback.
or a kicker. Kickers never get hit, and if they do, it's a 15-yard. This is why we'll never be playing against you in football. Because I feel like if I were ever to play kicker, he would purposefully just run right at me.
I think that's a penalty if you run into the.
Yeah, I don't think he would care.
What if it's
Like the Notre Dame coach that hit the Georgia punter like twice in a row.
All right, do I need to help get you started? Because all the talking's giving me the idea that you don't know where to start. You plug zeros in for things. I've got it a little bit started up here. I'm going to plug a 0 for x and a 0 for y, or a 0 for y and a 0 for x. You decide whatever you want. All right, how many are done as far as they're going to go right now by themselves? All right, I'm glad that you're honest. All right, let's look at this. I chose, whatever, doesn't really matter which one you choose. I'm plugging a 0 in for y. You can plug a 0 for x first. I don't mind. I'm going to plug a 0 in for y. When I plug a 0 in for y, right there, that 2 times 0 goes away. And I'm just going to be left with x equals how much? Equals how much? 6. So 6 comma 0 is my first point. 6 comma 0, right there.
What?
Did I do that right? All right. So I'm suggesting that you show some work. You could show it like this if you wanted to. X minus 0 equals 6, and then x equals 6. That way you knew how we got that.
All right, I'm done now.
So we have a 6 comma 0. Now I'm going to plug in a 0. I'm going to change colors. I'll use the green. I'm going to do 0 in for the x now. Ben, what am I going to have left when I do that?
let's see, so 2y equals 6.
Almost. I agree with it.
Negative 2y equals 6.
Yes, negative 2y equals 6.
Y
Very
equals
good.
-3.
And y was negative 3. That's correct. Now I'm going to graph 0 comma negative 3, which is going to be down here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to wait because I have some people catching up. Do you want to do another one? I'm getting the idea that some of. No, wait. I'm going to ask some people like.
Might as well.
I like that. Might as well. Let's do number 2. And I don't have it written on here, so it's 9x, I think. 9x plus 4y equals negative 18. All right, let's do that one.
Why?
All right, I'm going to plug a 0 in. I've picked x. Excuse me, y to plug the 0 in. So it's going to be 9x plus the 0, which I don't really have to write, equals negative 18. So I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. Are you with me?
Okay.
So what is negative 18 divided by 9?
Negative
Very good. That's where I got it from. So I'll have negative 2 comma 0. Now I'm going to plug a 0 in for x. This one is the one that gets a little complicated. So I'm going to have the 0, which I don't really have to write, plus 4y equals negative 18. Does 4 go into 18?
No, so
You can do
4.5.
negative.
Is it 4.5?
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Isn't that negative?
It's negative. Okay. So y will equal negative 4 1/2 or 4.5. Hopefully they're all going to be halves when this happens. So it's easier in our life to graph it. Whoops. 4, negative 4.5, comma 0. And then we draw our line.
How do you do the origin points again?
How do you do the origin points? Okay, is that number 3?
Yeah, I tried to do it, but I
Okay, so then let's do number 3. I love that question. Let's do number 3. I love it. I love it when you guys are asking questions. I have to get a new screen because I don't have that.
What have I
Are we
done?
ready? So it's number 3. I'm gonna, and it's
3x equals 12. Or
3x.
3y.
3y equals how much?
12x.
12x. Now, we know this isn't the origin because there's nothing being added, right? And so I actually should have picked graph paper, and so that I could now draw this nicely so I can get my graph paper here. Nice and nice. I'm not going to have arrows on both ends, but that's okay. All right, so we know it's the origin's one of them, right? How in the world do I get the slope now? Because that's the next thing. What do I have to solve for to get slope? Slope is always in which form? Y equals mx plus b. So I have to have y first. Y equals mx plus b. So I need to get that 3 away.
So you divide 3.
Divide by 3 on both sides. Y will equal how much? Go ahead and do this. I'm doing it with you. You might as well do it on your paper. I'll go slow and I'll wait for you to catch up. Okay. 4x. Good job. You can just say equals. Just what it equals 4x.
Oh, wait. I so then,
We're dividing by 3 on both sides because the reason we're doing that is if we want it in the form y equals mx plus b. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. That's like 4 over 1.
I got it.
So I'm going to go up 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. That was 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Up
I get it.
1, 2, 3, 4 over 1.
And you go down.
And I can keep going, but I'm not because I don't want to make anyone in this room annoyed.
Okay, so.
It's-
Oh, okay.
All right, you have now learned how to graph an equation with an x-intercept and a y-intercept. Remember that you're plugging zeros in.